Hi guys, hi, how's it going? How y'all doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I am doing my next turn and burn update. This is the update for the month of August. Going through all the sample products in my collection that I went through last month as it pertains to the turn and burn project, which is a Fantastic Ladies collab. Fantastic Ladies is a wonderful group of ladies that has a Facebook group that you can join, and they have all these different like project pan things that they do throughout the year. I can never keep up with them all, but this is the one that I chose to do for this year. Next year I think I'm going to maybe put a pause on this because I'm kind of running out of samples except for skincare samples, and maybe do something else with them next year. But for today we're going to be going through all of the sample size items that I brought into my turn and burn and pick some new items. And if that sounds like something you're interested in, please keep on watching. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I am a lover of all things high and colorful beauty and self-care, a lover of color, really, and self-care, and this is my self-care. I really enjoy being in the beauty space. I work for Ulta Beauty as a field leader. I get a lot of education in my position. I like to bring that to you here. Ultimately though, I'm just out here talking about makeup because I like to talk about makeup. And if you also like to talk about makeup, I think that this is the place for you, and I hope that you will subscribe before you go. And with that said, let's just talk about some products that I went through over the last month. Okay, so I sprayed the perfume that I am pulling out of here, not because I used it up entirely, but because I did get some great usage out of it, and I have like a whole like sampler set that I pulled into turn and burn, so I need to rotate through those samples, but this is the only one that I have ready to go. I am choking on it right now, just saying. So I'm not going to address the stuff that I haven't went through. A lot of this stuff you guys have already heard me talk about over and over and over again because it's still in here, even though it's been in here for a minute. I also have all of the masks that I didn't even use either. So this hasn't been a super successful month as far as turn and burn is concerned, but I always like to come to you, float these guys out of my collection, float new guys into my collection. The only two things in here that would be considered makeup empties are these two guys here. So I do have a MAC Fix Plus little tiny sample guy. Listen, MAC Fix Plus is amazing. I have two of them in backup. You will see in my inventory video that I think you'll see next. For MAC Fix Plus, this was 0.17 ounces of product, which means I got $1.65 worth of product in this little tiny empty, because this bad boy is a 3.4 ounce product typically, and you get that for $33 from MAC. I really like MAC Fix Plus. Do you feel like it does a good job of like settling in all the powders I put on my face, or maybe even like making my face feel refreshed if I put it into the car and, you know, I was utilizing it throughout the day just to give my makeup a little bit of a pick-me-up. I do feel like this works for that. I also feel like this works really good for foiling an eyeshadow without affecting my eyes. So sometimes when I use something like this to like wet an eyeshadow powder that I want to be a little bit more impactful on the eye, it actually bothers my eyes so dang much. So I just got out of the habit of doing that, but after using this, I remembered that this doesn't affect my eyes like that does. I don't know what the difference is in the composition or the makeup of ingredients in this product versus something like a 24-hour setting spray, but this is a really nice product. I hated using this because the sprayer on this is definitely not as nice as the full-size bottle is. I felt like I had to hold it like this to spray it out, and then it was just kind of a mess. And also the sprayer wasn't very good on it, but it is a sample, and the sprayer on the actual Fix Plus is fantastic. So this is one of my actual Fix Pluses that I have in my collection. The sprayer on this guy is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, like, it locks. It doesn't spray when you don't want it to spray, and then to unlock it, you just smush it over, and then you push this whole thing down, and the spray on it is just dreamy. It's a dreamy spray, and I'm not going to spray this because I haven't even used it yet. It was still in the box, but it's a beautiful sprayer. This one wasn't fantastic, but I would obviously purchase Fix Plus. I loved that, and it reminded me, having that sample in this Turn and Burn reminded me of why I love that product. The next sample I have is actually one that came into this in June, and it is the Fenty Full Frontal Mascara, and I really did not like this, but this has a wand on it that is kind of like a bushy Christmas tree with fibers, not like plastic bristles, and I typically really like plastic bristles, but here lately some of my favorite mascaras are these like bristle or fiber bristles instead of plastic bristles, whatever that happens to be. I didn't love this mascara. It was really, really dry in my humble opinion, and therefore it flaked on me quite early in application, well, quite early in wear time, I guess. I would apply it. It would look great. It looked great, but I did not love that it flaked on me almost immediately after applying. I would say within a couple hours, my eyes were driving me bonkers. I also have really sensitive eyes, so if that's not a problem that exists for you now with some of those drier formulas, then it probably wouldn't drive you nuts with this. But I am happy to have gotten some use out of it. It makes me wonder how I'm gonna like the Fenty Hella Thick that I have in my backup bins that I got in gratis this year or last year. I think this year. It was really, really dry in my humble opinion, and therefore bugged my eyes. This is normally a 24-ounce product. I don't know how much is in this tube, but I used it probably 5 times before I just really felt like I couldn't use it anymore. I would say it's probably not empty, let's be honest, but we're calling it good for purposes of Turn and Burn because I can't use it anymore because it bothers my eyes. So those are the only 2 like makeup samples that I had in here. The rest is pretty much skincare. I'll start with these. These are the Cetaphil wipes that I actually got in gratis this last year. I don't even think that these are on, yeah, these aren't even on my list, but I did put them in here because, as I do with any sample or deluxe size product that I'm using, I will float it into something that I'm talking about with you guys. The problem with doing that is sometimes I forget to put these on the list and therefore don't have a price point for you. I don't know how much these cost. I'll put it in the screen here for a full size, but this did have makeup wipes in it, and what I will say is I am not a makeup wipe connoisseur. I actually don't use makeup single-use makeup wipes anymore. I always use these. I have like 10 or so on rotation and just use a reusable makeup eraser because I'm trying to be nicer to the environment than what I was when I first started this makeup journey. I do like these more than I liked the like Neutrogena ones. Neutrogena makeup wipes, I think, caused a lot of irritation to my skin. I felt like they dried my skin out, but also left a really oily like residue on my skin after I used them. These ones I do not feel dried my skin out. I also do not feel like they left a really oily residue. These say that they're gentle skin cleansing cloths for sensitive skin. It says it's an ultra soft wipe to remove dirt, makeup, and impurities without irritation. It has aloe vera and a vitamin B5 and B3 complex in here. While I don't think that it did anything to like dry my skin out, I do think that this is just not something for me and I wouldn't reuse them. And at the end of the day, a makeup wipe is never going to take off as much makeup as you need a makeup wipe to take off, so that you can go in and maybe be kinder to your skin with a cleanser. I would say just a 2-step cleansing routine is probably a better solve than this, and get yourself some makeup erasers that you can use that are going to be kind to your face, because nothing is as gentle to your skin as a nice cloth that is that has got some like softness to it, right? Not terry and not like abrasive by any means, but these weren't bad. I do think that they were better than Neutrogena or even like some of those ones that I used to pick up from TJ Maxx, but they also aren't something that I'm gonna pick up over and over and over again. I do like Cetaphil. Cetaphil, when I was using like drugstore cleansers, was my cleanser of choice. So I liked those fine, but I wouldn't repurchase them. Then I have this, which is a body balm. This is the Kanuka CBD Healing Skin Balm. I did use it up, but it was painstakingly because the shit stunk. It stunk so bad. This is 0.17 ounces of product, which means it is $6.16 worth of the CBD oil or CBD balm for your skin, because this is $58 for 1.6 ounces. I just think that that is crazy. I think that that is crazy. It's got CBD and Manuka honey. It's for dry, chapped, and inflamed skin, and I feel like it did a good job, but I also feel like it stinks, and I can't get past the stink. It's got a little bit weird, like not balmy, but more like a thick honey texture to it, which I also thought was very strange, and it doesn't 100% dry down. And honestly, I was using it on my elbows because my elbows from sitting on a desk or sitting up here with my elbows resting against my table get really beaten up, and I don't think that this did anything to help solve the chapped, dry skin for my elbows, except for in the moments that it was on my elbows. And then in addition to that, like every time I stuck my elbows down on anything for hours afterwards, which is good because that means it was on my skin for hours, there would be residue from it on my desk or wherever it was. I just didn't love it. I did not love it. I did not love the smell of it. I didn't love smelling like it. So it won't be something that I repurchase. I really just think that this does the same amount of work that like a Vaseline or a bag balm can do for you. And those two things smell better, in my humble opinion. I would never use this on my hands. I would never use it on my face. Elbows, soles of feet, those would be the places that this got used. But this container is fantastic. I will keep this container for later use after Year of Empties this year because it's a really great container, but I didn't love the product. And I don't even know why it has CBD in it, if I'm honest with you. Like, can anybody tell me why CBD is in anything? I just don't understand it. And then I had several skincare products. Well, I guess 4 skincare products. I had the Genifique night cream from Lancome, which was fantastic. The notes I have on this is that it is a hydrating cream that is kind of on the thicker side, but still very creamy and able to be used under makeup. And that I did see improvement of radiance of my skin. This guy is $100 for 1.7 ounces. Now I only have 0.16 ounces of product here. So I have almost $10 worth of product in this. It's $9.41. So I did get a good amount of use on this to determine whether I liked it or not. What I liked most about it is that, yes, it is a night cream. So it's got the emollients and the creaminess and the like denseness of a night cream, right? But it's still really thin in texture, so you're able to, I had no problem using it under makeup. There's little remnants still left in here, but this is the consistency of it. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's just really, honestly, pretty thin for a night cream. So I really enjoyed it, and I like Genifique, to be honest. It's got a really nice scent to it. It doesn't smell like rosy or awful. I don't know that I'd consider buying it, if I'm honest with you, because it is, you know, pretty expensive, and I have just there's so many different ones that you can buy right now that are decently priced. I mean, Cetaphil has a really great moisturizing cream. So does CeraVe. Like, those are really good, like, drugstore options. But man, if you have the money, sure. Do I like it more than the Magic Cream from Charlotte Tilbury that we had in a couple of turn and burns ago? No, I would buy the Magic Cream before I would buy this, I think. The next one that I have is the Mario Badescu Brightening Mask with Vitamin C. This is actually quite nice, and what I liked best about it, I think, is that it was a nice creamy mask that I can put on, and it kind of, once exposed to all that air, it kind of hardened, but not so hard that it was, you know, hard to get off or it felt like stifling. It didn't do anything to brighten my face though, I don't think. I do love vitamin C. My skin loves vitamin C. I would say that I didn't see any brightening effect come from it though, but it did feel good on my face. It says it's good for all skin types. My notes say that it is a clay mask for dark spots, dullness, and uneven texture. I'm not sure that it helped with uneven texture. I'm not sure that it helped with dark spots, although I've done a really good job of making sure that my dark spots are taken care of on a daily from serum that I use. I have dark spots up here, dark spots here from sun exposure, but not horrible. I mean, they're not horrible. And I've done a really good job of my forehead dark spots taken care of with like a Paracone MD product that I used back in the day, and they haven't reappeared because Lord knows we're not sitting in the sun anymore at this time of life. But I don't think it did anything for the dark spots, the brightening, the whatnot, but it did feel good on my face and I had fun with it. I don't think that I had enough in there to really distinguish whether it was something, if I used, you know, more than once, if it would have any impact on my skin overall. I mean, bottom line, that's just what it comes down to. This guy is really inexpensive, right? Mario Badescu is a really inexpensive brand, really great skincare for the most part. This is $22 for 2 ounces of product, which means it's an $11 per ounce product. This doesn't say how much is in it, so I can't really tell you the dollar amount for this. In terms of like my samples and putting it in to my year of empties, it will equate to a $2 sample to me, just because it was a pretty decent size, and because that's how my samples, if I don't, you know, dependent on the product, like if I couldn't figure this one out, it would be a $3 sample because it's Lancome Genifique. This one is $2 because it is Mario Badescu. But I mean, it's a decently priced full-size item, and you get 2 ounces of product full size, so that is in and of itself a reason to purchase it as opposed to other brightening things. But honestly, I just don't think that it did anything to brighten my skin for long term. It helped in the moment, in the day, but it didn't long term do anything to be impactful to the overall appearance of the dullness of my skin. As a matter of fact, I think if I remember correctly, maybe I'm wrong, because coming out of that, I was like, oh, my skin looks so good right now, it looks bright. And then when I did my Shop My Stash the other day, I was like, I'm gonna pick this illuminating primer because my skin looks really dull. Either it impacted it on the opposite because I just used it a few weeks ago, or it impacted it so much that I noticed that it had become dull after the fact. Who knows? But I mean, it's a decent product. I'm not gonna balk at it because it's Mario Badescu. It's a great price point, and their skincare is pretty impactful most of the time, but it is very basic. And then I just had 2 other like products. I did have this Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Pink Juice Moisturizer, which was a fantastic moisturizer. I loved the smell of it. And this actually lasted quite some time. I think I used this almost the entirety of the month as my moisturizer. This is actually a pretty hefty sample. For this one, for the notes, I have that it is a water gel moisturizer, so it has that really nice like cooling almost consistency of going on and feeling like water putting on, like literally sinks in almost immediately. It felt good. I feel like it moisturized really well without sucking, you know, moisture out of my skin, but do I feel like it continued to put moisture into my skin all day long? Sure. It's got hyaluronic acid in it, so it is supposed to pull the moisture out of the air and, you know, help your skin stay hydrated throughout the day. I think it did a good job of that. I don't feel like at the end of the day my skin felt parched, and I did love the smell of this. Would I purchase it? Probably. I mean, I really did like it. I really did like it. I do think it's probably a little bit of an overhyped product though, because it's Glow Recipe and their products come in really cute like containers, right? So I got the pleasure of getting to use it without the bias of that really cute container influencing my decision. I do think that it's cute in its full-size form, but I also think it was a really great moisturizer overall. I have that this full size is 1.69 ounces and it is a $40 product. This guy here was 0.3 fluid ounces of product, and I'm going to tell you that 0.3 fluid ounces lasted a very long time. I didn't need a whole lot of this to make it last on my skin or feel like my whole face felt moisturized. With that said, that means I have $7.10 worth of that moisturizer in this little tiny pink dude, and I couldn't be happier about having gotten to spend some time with that product. It was really nice. The last product I have is the Drunk Elephant TLC Framboos Glycolic Night Serum. So this is supposed to refine and retexturize, if I remember correctly. It is an AHA BHA gel for gentle resurfacing of skin. Much like you would get from like a retinol, only it is not like a harsh retinol. I really liked this product. I would repurchase this. I have such a hard time with you know, retinol products like the Sunday Riley AHA or the Sunday Riley A Plus. Really did not do my skin any great things. It was actually pretty harsh on my skin. There is also another one that I have used in the past. I can't remember what the name is right now, but it also is considered a really gentle resurfacing like retinol, and it also, my skin is so sensitive. So sensitive. But this one, I didn't feel like impacted. I felt like it did its job without negatively impacting my skin. This says it is a high-tech AHA BHA gel that resurfaces dull, congested skin by gently lifting away dead skin cells dramatically, right? It does the same thing retinol does. And I guess this could go back to me thinking that my skin looked sallow and dull lately. Like, that is approximately the same amount of time that this ran out in my skincare routine for the month. So maybe it's not about the brightening cream or any of the moisturizers I've been using. Maybe it's because I ran out of this and I haven't been able to use it anymore. I do think that I have a full size somewhere, so I'm gonna have to dig into my full-size skincare products and see if I can find one of these. I liked that product. I would definitely repurchase it. That product is $90 for 1 ounce. That's expensive. The full size is 1 ounce of product. That means that this guy, this little tiny dude right here, has $15.30 worth of product in it. That is so crazy. What I would say too about these little samples is that one spritz of these samples doesn't really typically give you enough to do a full face in little sample dudes. Both of these, I feel like with this one, it took me, you know, 1 squirt and I had enough to do my full face. It is a water gel water gels go a little bit further than the other. And if I felt like my skin needed a little more moisture, I would just use 2 squirts of this. This one was 2 squirts, and the squirts on this are little. They're little tiny, but I felt like I wasn't using like 7 or 8, you know, pumps of this in order to cover my whole face in the way I like to with my skincare. I did like this a lot. I'm gonna see if I have a full size in my skincare behind me, behind that door. And bring it into my collection as something that I'm using every single night. And then we get to the perfume that I'm not done with, but I am pulling out of here because I have used it enough to have an opinion on it. This is the Fleur Not Your Baby perfume, and this guy is $99. And, you know, Fleur comes in real simplistic packaging, real simplistic bottles. So, I mean, it's not necessarily ugly, but it's also not something that your eye is naturally drawn to because it is in pretty packaging or whatever. I did pick up the sampler kit from Sephora around the holiday time frame for Fleur as well as for Commodity, and I was so excited to use them. This one is very floral. It's got cardamom, mimosa, vanilla milk. It's a powdery palette of mimosa and violet for a top note, cardamom and shimmering bergamot for a mid note, and then milky vanilla tonka bean and sensual sandalwood for a bottom note. What I would say is that I don't think there ever came a time that I smelled the vanilla tonka bean and sandalwood. It was so floral. And I mean, even into spraying it right before I came on here to like be able to really lean into my thoughts and opinions on this, I just don't think that this is the floor scent for me, and that's totally okay because I know that it will be for somebody else. This one is supposed to be provocative and playful, sexy, intriguing, and an addictive, spicy floral. I don't smell anything that I want to smell. And it makes me choke. So this is probably not one that I will use. I will likely give this one specifically to my daughter, this little tiny sample guy, because I probably won't wear that scent again. But I do have 7 more to sample from Fleur, and I'm hoping that I can get through them by the end of the year, by December, so that when the next fragrance sale happens, I know what kind of fragrance I want to purchase. With that said, that is it. That is all. Oh, wait. I need to pick new items. Let me go do that. Okay. So I only picked out 2 makeup products because that's all I mean, I really don't have any makeup left in my sample or deluxe size drawer, except for like single eyeshadows and stuff like that, which honestly, I think I'm going to end up putting into a giveaway of some sort. Because I'm not going to use them, and I'm certainly not going to use them through Turn and Burn. So there's that. The 2 things that I did put in here though, I also have in full size, if I remember correctly. I may not have this in full size, which is the Pat McGrath Labs Dark Star Mascara, but I've never tried it. This one I do have in full size. It is the Lancome Hypnose Drama. And if I don't like it in a sample, then I will also declutter the large version of it when we're done with this Turn and Burn. I'm bringing in a Collagen Superfusion Facial Oil from Charlotte Tilbury. I am also bringing in a glow toner from Charlotte Tilbury that has niacinamide, pore tight peptide, yep, all those things. So we have a toner. I have 2 cleansers that I'm actually bringing in. I'm bringing in the Estee Lauder Nutritious 2-in-1 Foaming Cleanser and the Tatcha Deep Cleanser. I love this container for the Tatcha. And then I have 2 like other things that I'm bringing in. I think I should bring in like some sort of a moisturizer, to be honest. I'm gonna go find a moisturizer. This is the I Do Care Cake My Day Hydrating Sprinkle Wash Off Mask. Kind of like a clay mask is what my understanding of it would be. And then I'm also bringing in this eczema honey body lotion. So, whoops. This is a lotion for your body from the brand Eczema Honey, specifically made for those of us with eczema. I'm gonna go pull moisturizer. I'm gonna bring in also this Belief True Cream. It is a moisturizing cream that can supplement some of the other products that I have that I've brought in. And with that said, these guys are gonna go into my empties bin, so you'll hear me talk about them briefly again in the empties that I have for this month. Really excited to start using some of these other products. And that's it, you guys. That's all I have for you for Turn and Burn. It was a really not great month for Turn and Burn. Hopefully it'll be a better month for the month of August's update in September, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it though. If you did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you're notified every single time I upload. My birthday is in a couple weeks. I do a giveaway for my birthday every single year. It's the only giveaway that I do on my channel, and I hope that you'll want to subscribe because you have to be a subscriber in order to be entered into the giveaway. And yeah, you guys, I'm just cruising right along here, just cruising right along, and I hope that you want to join me in this journey. And with that said, I hope that you are all safe, healthy, getting along as best you can, that you are all loving each other, being kind humans, and just living your best life out there and enjoying the little bits of summer that we have left. And until next time, bye friends.